I'm here with Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran. Alexander, Act 15 in France, yellow vests. I like to think that this media war is really kicking in now. Macron is man, that guy. He is one slimy, deceptive dude. He is trying to smear the yellow vests now, and he is really making this into an information war on the yellow vests. But the yellow vests are not backing down. They did announce that come March they will take a decisive action as well. No one really knows what that is, but we're going to wait and see. What's the update in France with the Yellow Vests Act 15? Alexander Mercouris.
Right. The first thing to say is that every report confirms that the protests this weekend were again bigger than they had been on the previous weekend. So Act 15 was bigger than Act 40. Now, I say that because, of course, there's been a series of articles which I've been reading now, across the Western media, which have been implying or saying that the Yellow Vest movement is actually losing steam. It's not losing steam, it is growing. But what they're also doing, and this is absolutely part of Macron's agenda, is that they're now trying to tar the Yellow Vests as extremists. And one particular thing that they're pulling out is that the Yellow Vests are anti-Semites. And surprise, surprise, Macron is now talking about enshrining further anti-Semitic legislation in French law. There's apparently more talk about making anti-Zionism equivalent to anti-Semitism. Now, whatever you think about that, the real objective here is quite clear to me, is to actually damage the Yellow Vests by taking one or two comments that one or two people amongst the Yellow Vests have made, unrepresentative people, and make out that the entire movement is anti-Semitic. Let me reiterate and say again, the Yellow Vests movement is a conservative, middle-class French movement. It is based on the small towns and rural communities of France. It is not extremist. It is not anti-Semitic. It stands for France and for the people of France who are being pressed very hard by the current globalist, neoliberal, integrationist agenda that Macron stands for.
So Macron can't negotiate. He can't find a way to sit down with them and negotiate with the Yellow Vests. He can't win on policy, and he can't win on the issues. So he's looking to tar them. He's looking to brand them as extremists, and he's using the media to achieve those goals. And he's looking to actually shut them down and censor them, and he's looking to censor pretty much everyone in France, because Macron is also announcing that he's looking to pass legislation where if you do, express anti-Semitic comments on the internet or anti-Islamic comments or anti-religious comments, you could be banned for life from using social media or using platforms on the internet. So Macron is really kicking this into globalist insanity, is he not?
He certainly is. Can I just say two things about Macron? I mean, his other tactic, I'll come back to the points you made, but his other tactic is he set up these so-called consultations with various people that he basically has picked himself. And at the moment, he's been going around parts of France, meeting these people who already agree with him and going through the pretense that he's consulting with them. So he won't talk to the Yellow Vests themselves or the protest movement or the people who they represent. He will talk instead to other people who are those people who already agree with him. Now, this point about suppression of opinions, I really want to emphasize to our viewers what a big thing in France that is. France has always been one of the leading countries in freedom of expression terms. There is a French law going back all the way to the 1880s, which treats freedom of expression as almost sacrosanct. When there was the Charlie Hebdo events a couple of years ago, when there was this bomb attack on Charlie Hebdo, there was a whole outcry from people, including Macron, saying that this was an attack on free speech, and that free speech in France is sacred. Yet now we see Macron, when he is himself under political pressure, what does he do? He looks around for the mechanisms he can find to silence those people who are causing him political difficulties at the same time as he is defaming them and libeling them by claiming that they're anti-Semites.
All right, finally, Alexander, as we enter spring, how do you think this is going to play out as we go into March and April? Does Macron have the upper hand? Do the Yellow Vests have the upper hand? How do you see this unfolding?
Well, I come back to what I said at the start of our program, which is that the movement is actually growing. It's not, in fact, shrinking at all. So, yes, there's been apparently a small upward blip in Macron's opinion poll rating, within the margin of error, I should add. I know. Well, it's not perhaps entirely surprising because, of course, I mean, there will be people who will rally behind him in this kind of situation, but he remains very unpopular. But it seems to me that there is no sign of this protest movement melting away. It seems to me becoming bigger, and with all the indications being that both the French and the European economies are now facing recession, I expect this protest movement and dissatisfaction with Macron to grow. In fact, I'm quite certain of it.
All right, Alexander Mercouris, editor-in-chief of the Duran, thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on that subscribe button down below and click on the notifications bell to get notifications every time we push out a new video. Visit the Duran shop, pick up a t-shirt, help support the Duran. And in the description box down below, you will find links to our PayPal and Patreon pages. Please donate to us. That really helps us out a lot. And you can get a copy of this video in audio format. Follow us on iTunes and Soundcloud. Don't forget, go to Duran.com and see all the articles that Alexander is linking up to. Alexander, thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, take care.